Hey, it's
Hey,
Melody,
and it's Trisha.
and we are The Yard Chronicles 1989. And The Yard is
PV
PV and
and
U.
you.
Okay?
All
Shout out to
right.
Prairie View. Okay, so for those of you who have been supporting us, subscribing, liking, sharing, hey,
Welcome back.
we're here. And for those of you, this is your first time, subscribe, like, share, and welcome. You're in the right place at the right time with the right people.
Yeah.
Okay, so we really enjoyed this so far. Like our first three podcasts have been so much fun. And it is really just we just went down memory lane having a ball, right?
Having a ball.
Yeah. And now this time we're in separate places, but we're still gonna have fun like we were together. Right, Trisha
Yeah.
Boo?
Right.
So this time we're gonna oh my gosh, we're gonna talk about like the culture of PV and like in my mind I'm thinking it's the culture of HBCUs during our day,
Right. Right. Right.
right? And one culture that was seriously a thing at HBCUs and Prairie View was our dress code. But it
Oh, yes.
but it wasn't something that it was our unofficial untalked about dress code.
True. And it's not like the dress code that they have today.
They don't have a
We
dress
were,
code.
I
They
don't
just
think they have a dress code today.
no, I mean technically we didn't either, but it's just how we felt about going to university. Like it was our it was something that we never discussed. It was a thing. You know what I
Right.
mean?
And we took pride in
How we looked.
what we wore and everything. It wasn't like it was that every day was going to be a fashion show, but when we did dress, we dressed.
You know, I take no. For some people every day they came on the yard was a fashion show. Do you remember Yinka on a weenie?
Yinka was different.
No, baby. Let me tell you
Yinka
something.
was different.
But there were people who had his mindset. Yinka did not step on that yard without slaying. Suavette, you remember Suavette?
I do remember Suavette.
Suavette never came to the yard unless she would, even if she wasn't in class, even if she just came to like hang out. You know what I mean? Like she, when Suavette came to the yard, she didn't always have class, but better believe she was gonna slay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was a girl from Houston named Fern. Every time I saw her, she was short, petite, pretty, curvy, slayed. So there are some people like we used to slay to go to class, but even in between my class, I was never on the yard in flip flops, shorts, and a t-shirt.
I don't think I wore flip flops, but a t shirt, some shorts, and some tennis shoes. Yeah, that was on my day that I was like, I'm not feeling it. But I mean, you did have the Suavettes and the Yinkas and the Melvins that
Zephyr,
they
yes.
always dressed,
And
and
depending on
I
where you were
think
from
that was,
too.
huh?
Depending on where you were from, because there were certain people like those boys from Chicago, they was always showing up. The boys from DC, they was always showing up.
True.
It depends on those boys from Florida, they was always. I think it depend on where you came from
Where
too.
you were from.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because
And yes, we did not wear pajamas. That was a no no. I think if we showed up in class in pajamas, the professors would have turned us away.
who would have had a mindset to show up in pajamas?
Pajamas. Well, yeah, and some kids now show up in pajamas.
That's crazy. Like
Yeah,
even some of the guys, like some from the California club, right? They had that khaki polo, you know what I mean, type of style, but they still slayed. Cliff, Pat, John Twine, like every time they came to the yard, they was like Okay, California's here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just a culture. And the thing about it as a freshman, because we all grew into we all came there with our own style, but I feel like the longer we stayed there, especially girls, some girls, our styles changed a little bit. You know what I mean? But I
It
can tell you,
did.
I can tell you for me, like I never went to class unless I was like
And you know what? And that was a reflection of a different world that we were watching on
right.
TV. So we emulated their dress style. So yes, I do believe that. But so yes,
And for
we
me,
did that.
I can't even say that's the case. I just know like because there are some people like they get up, they get dressed, whether they're going somewhere or not. You know what I mean? So like my grandmother got up and put on clothes every day, even if she wasn't going any further than the Young and the Restless.
Let's
as the
talk about
world
the Young and the
as the
Restless.
as the world turns. You know what I mean? But my grandmother was gonna get up and put on clothes and you know,
And I think that was, that was handed down from generation to generation. And
right.
I don't know where it stopped to where these kids just get up and put on whatever they slept in and go to class.
Right. Now, I will say, like I was telling you before, as I stayed at Prairie View longer, like my style changed. I went from, like, because I used to love, honey, guess, a Calvin Klein. Okay. Like, it's
Well, back
Jabot.
then it was
Jabot.
Guess, it
Jabot.
was Swatch, it was
Jabot.
Jabot, yes. And then we got into that FUBU and cross colors and
I
things
never
like
wore
that.
FUBU, but I did go from, really nice Papagayo shoes, but until where I got to the point, I started to love Express. You remember Express? We don't
Yes,
have it
I
here.
worked at Express in
See,
Willowbrook Mall.
we don't have it here. So I
Well, we
went
don't have
from,
it no more either. I will know. I think it is still around.
yeah, it is. Last time I came to Houston with you, it's there. But I went from a whole different heels, wool
Right.
slacks
We
in the
did wear
winter.
heels on campus until those cobblestone gravel concrete kind of things tore our heels up. And
No,
then we
boo, I
started
was in grad school still slaying some heels, honey.
uh-uh.
Okay? I
Uh-uh.
was.
No, I didn't. I had
I
to get out
did.
of them because they was tearing that
The
whatever
gravel.
was tearing up my
Yeah.
heels.
No, I was in grad. And I think by the time I got my senior year, but by the time I got to grad school, in my mind, honey, I was a male version of Yinka, a female version of Yinka, honey.
Where is Yinka to this
I
day? I
don't know,
wonder
but I feel like
where.
all of his stuff was designer or custom made. I but Yinka was a whole different beast. His shoes was gonna always match the top, and he came like
He did, and he always smells so
so
good.
good.
And he would hug you, and you'd be like, "Oh, he smells
But
so good."
the thing about Yinka, he was genuinely nice.
He was. He was really
You know,
sweet.
he I believe he came from a really good family,
Hmm.
but he wasn't like he was so earthy. It was another guy, Zephyr. Zephyr was Nigerian. He had a dual engineering major, but he came to class in suits.
I don't remember
Suits.
him. The name I remember, but I don't remember what he looks like.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. We had people that like I remember this guy from Louisiana. He always wore jabots, but he always had a white t-shirt. You know what I mean? He was from Louisiana. So we did have people. No, I'm just saying, like we did have people that didn't slay, but they were still put together nice. His kicks was on point. His pants were always jabot, but he would just rock a white t-shirt. You know what I mean? But the
Hmm.
backpack that he had slayed.
Yeah.
So everybody had like their thing, but it wasn't like how these kids. These kids go to the airport looking disgusting.
Yeah,
We
like
couldn't.
they just rolled out of bed.
Yeah. So I think for us, it was like, and in the summertime, girl, we might have had on shorts and a cute shirt, but baby,
But yeah, we were still cute.
oh, what? We did. And
Yeah.
I like that about HBCUs. I wonder if they still have that sense of style and fashion. Because what I remember the most is that I remember that depending on where you came from, your fashion reflected that. Like I will never forget, I don't even know who his name was, but it was some guy, and I'll never forget, he was in the Baby Doll. I found out later he was from Chicago, but he had on some riding boots. Okay.
Hmm.
Riding boots.
Really? I don't know who
Yes.
that would be.
I remember his face, but I remember him. We were in the basketball game. He had on black riding boots and black jeans, and dark color sweater, but it was the riding boots. I was like,
Oh, he was
okay.
quite dapper.
I said, okay, okay. You see,
All right then.
you see, it's 55 years later, and I still remember
Right.
those
He
riding
made an
boots.
impression on you.
I was like, okay, because truth be told, the only time I saw a guy in they were white boys. You know, they were
Yeah.
white boys. I not they weren't black. You know what I mean? Like I've
Hmm.
seen white boys in riding boots, but not black.
Hmm.
So that's just something let's talk about how we used to hang out.
Let's do that on the next episode.
Well, I thought,
We almost out of time.
no, we got a little time. We got time.
Okay.
Let's talk about how we used to hang out. Because, our spring and summer hangout was different than our fall and winter hangout.
Well,
But we
true.
still hung out.
We and yes, and we still hung out. And we hung out, oh my goodness, at the very beginning of the
Hmm.
school year when we were registering and hanging out, trying to get our classes together. Yes, the hangout, we would all meet up together and then have a discussion about who sat in the baby dome the longest.
Say less. Okay.
Right.
What about before they filled in the fountain? We used to hang
Oh,
out in
hang
the
out in
summertime.
front
Remember
of.
they used to bring the DJ and the music, and we
Oh
would have so
yes,
much fun dancing and
yes.
just having a ball. Just like it's funny because I could sit at a cafe and drink some coffee and people watch for days. I feel like that's how we used to be on the yard. Music, we'd be
Yes.
going, we would watch people coming and going, and we sit and chit like we talk. We didn't have phone. We weren't sitting there like, you know,
Right. And we actually talked to each other.
had
I remember those
conversations.
Sigmas used to sit under the Sigma tree and talk about everybody that passed by and talk to you when you passed by and would
Right,
say, and that's how we would leave messages and things like that because we didn't have cell
right.
phones. We would tell somebody that was sitting somewhere, hey, if you see this person, tell them I'm looking
I'm
for
looking for them. Right, right. They'd be
them.
like, twin, uh, so and so looking for you,
Right.
twin. And I'd be like, okay. And they found you.
And they found
And
you.
they found you. So let me tell you a funny story about the fountain. Like, as a freshman, I heard that they were dunking people in the fountain. So
Yeah.
I met this guy named Blue. Blue, if I'm not mistaken, was from Chicago. I don't know how I met him or whatever, but you know, he said something to me and I was like, and he didn't like that. He was like, next time I see you, I'm gonna dunk you in the fountain. I'm like, I think you're not. Not me. He was like, watch. He's like, I'm gonna get you in the fountain. So Howard, I met Howard
Right.
like my first or second day, and my brother's an Omega. So, and I had called my brother. I'm like, hey, there's a dude talking about dumping me in the fountain. He was like, look, you go talk to the bros, and if the bros don't handle, if you end up in that fountain, when I get there, I don't need a bro. Okay.
Right.
So I go to Howard what my brother said. And Howard
Hmm.
was like, oh, that's my PC brother. Blah, blah, blah. Don't worry. I'll take care of it. So the next time I saw Blue, he gave me a side eye, but I didn't get in the fountain.
I
Okay.
know. And them knowing me and knowing my family, I would walk all the way around to not go in front of the alumni, because I'm like, okay, some one of my siblings may have done something to somebody and I'm not going to chance it.
Okay. But the
Right.
but the ironic part about it is that later on Blue and I became cool as a fan. Do you understand me? I love me some Blue. I wish I could find him to this day, but I love me some Blue. Blue and I became cool as a fan, but it was Howard, okay? Howard
Yeah.
was like, twin, don't worry about it. I got you. I was like, yeah, because. And then he was like, that's my PC brother. And I didn't know what PC was. I didn't even bother to ask. I was
Panther
like, okay,
Club,
I didn't know
Panther
that.
Club.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I had only been on campus two shakes of a lamb's tail. Okay, Waterburger.
The Panther
Look,
Club.
look, okay, Waterburger.
I see you and your Whataburger cup.
Because we
Enjoy.
don't have it in California. That's
Y'all
another
don't.
thing. Girl, for us, Sonic was everything because that's all we had. Okay, okay. That's all
Sonic
we
was
had.
all we had
Okay?
until they built that McDonald's. The first McDonald's it down off in the Hempstead, in the inside of Hempstead. You know, there's one on
Yep,
closer to
yeah,
Prairie View, but yes, that was the first that Sonic. Sonic was
yeah.
everything.
To us, it was,
Yes,
and the reason why I bring it up because our trip down memory lane is to also let the younger generation, hey, we paved the way for you to get a Starbucks and a bowling alley and a Chick-fil-A. Like,
right.
we did that because there was no Bucky's. Okay, it was
No.
Uncle. It was
It
Uncle.
was Unco on the corner, yes, of Old 290 and University Drive. Unco.
It
And
was
Unco
Uncle.
sold everything. It wasn't even PV groceries there. It was Unco.
Uncle. And guess what? Everybody would hang out at Uncle.
Everybody would.
Would hang out at Uncle. That was
Yeah,
the unofficial when you were off the yard, that was the unofficial place for you to hang out.
right. I mean,
Okay.
we had some places to hang out, but
We did.
yeah, we would find places to hang out.
Right. Well,
Right.
I've enjoyed this. Like this session was good. So
This was a good session.
I'll
This
see
was a good
you
session.
in the next session, girl, of our yard chronicle so we can go back down memory lane.
Go back down memory lane.
Okay. Hey, thank you guys for joining us. And like I said, for those of you who are new, welcome. You're in the right place at the right time with the right people. Okay?
Right.
You know.
I'm not sure if I like that.